everyone and welcome to Dayna's Day. So as some of you know, recently I went on a cruise to Vanuatu and this time I went with P&O, whereas the last two cruises I've been on I went with Carnival. So I thought I'd make this video and explain the differences between the companies. So what P&O offers and what Carnival offers, if that makes sense. So pretty much I'm just going to compare the two for anyone out there who is going on a cruise and can't choose what company to go with. So yeah, I'm going to just tell you a bunch of things that are different between the two, who is my favourite and what I'd prefer and whatnot. So I have a list and I've written them down as they've come to me, so they could be chop change everywhere, but yeah, so let's go. So the first thing, with both P&O and Carnival, where you get your food is like a buffet style type restaurant. You go up and it's all in front of you and you choose what you want. With Carnival, it kind of like goes in a circle. That's the same with both companies. But with Carnival, you go around and you can help yourself, put as much, grab a plate, go along and put as much on the plate as you want. Whereas P&O, it's all behind glass and there's waiters and stuff there that you have to line up, wait for your turn, and then you tell them what you want on your plate. I found this extremely annoying on P&O as I prefer to get my own amount because I hate wasting food and everything like that. And I don't know, I just prefer getting my own food. So that was a thing that I didn't really like with P&O, but absolutely loved with Carnival. But mostly they offered the same food as well at that buffet. And then with the actual sit-down restaurant at night time where you can have dinner and they'll bring out the food to you and you get a menu that you choose off. With Carnival, you get a set time, so there's either 5:30 or 7:30 at night, and you get seated at the exact same table every night with the exact same waiters. And by the second night, they know your name, they know what you like, everything like that, and usually you sit in the same spots or something like that, so they know where you're going to sit and whatever. Whereas with P&O, you have to just rock up whenever you want between 5:30 and 9, and they will seat you wherever they have a table available. There was 4 of us, and half the time there wasn't any four-seated tables available, so we were sat with other people, which was fine because you make friends and you talk over your dinner and stuff like that. But you also get different waiters every night as well. And I found this extremely annoying how you couldn't make a connection with the waiters because you got a different person every night. So they never knew your name, they never knew what you liked or anything like that. Whereas with Carnival, they did. But then again, with P&O, you could rock up whenever you wanted, which I thought was really convenient, seeing as that every night we ended up going there at a different time. I don't know if anyone watching has been on a cruise, but you get an itinerary every day. With Carnival, it's called Fun Times, and with P&O, it's called Good Times, and it pretty much just labels out the time and what activity is happening at that time every day. And I found that with P&O, there wasn't as much to do as there was with Carnival. I'm a big trivia nerd. I suck at it, completely suck at it. But I really enjoy the fact that there was literally one every half an hour on different topics. There was sport, music, movies, actors, everything. And then there was general ones. I loved the trivia and I pretty much went to all of them on Carnival. But there was one on P&O and that was it. It was at 8 o'clock at night and it was Name That Tune Trivia. I loved it. But I like trivia. I like going to trivia. With P&O, I found that there was a lot of stuff for little kids to do. There was a P&O Edge and those kind of things. But with Carnival, there was always something happening. Every half an hour there was something on and you were never bored because there was something to do with it. Whereas P&O, I found myself chilling in the room a lot or on the deck reading a book because there was literally nothing for me to do. Most nights on the ship there'll be a production cast put on a show for you. With Carnival, they were absolutely incredible and I would talk about them for days after they happened. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. Whereas with P&O, I'm sorry, but they were terrible. We had 2 production casts on the ship when I was there, and the first production cast was so bad. They couldn't sing, they couldn't dance. It was horrible. They were the rudest people But then the second production cast was a lot better, but Carnival shits all over the production cast of P&O. On the topic of rude staff, P&O, the staff was so rude. Like, the security was rude, some of the bartenders were rude, not all of them, but some of them. And the production cast, Cass and Kale, who I went with, the production cast had a go at them, accusing them of something they didn't do, which I found was extremely rude. But with Carnival, the staff always went out of their way to make you feel welcome, and I don't know, they were just amazing. They knew your name. You'd like walk down the corridor and they'd be like, "Hi, Dayna," and it's like, how do you know my name? That's really weird. But they went out of your way to make your experience amazing. Whereas P&O, I never really had any contact with the staff at all, and when I did, a lot of them were rude, and I was very disappointed. One thing that I found really, really weird on P&O was they didn't have a cruise director. They had an entertainment director, but not a cruise director. And I feel like the entertainment director or the captain of the ship were the ones who made the announcements over the speaker, whereas Carnival, they had a director for everything. They had a cruise director, an entertainment director, a comedy club director, every type of director possible. And yeah, P&O just didn't have one. I found it really, really strange. On cruises, they organised like dress up theme nights. So on Carnival, I had a Mexican and Hawaiian theme, and on P&O, I had Gatsby, Back to School, and Bianco theme. But the only problem with that was with P&O, it was pretty much like just a dance party. That's all their themed nights were. Whereas on Carnival, they had like games and activities to do on their themed nights, and I much preferred that because there was something to do other than just stand there and like, you know, kind of dance around. You get a bit bored of that. P&O is a lot smaller ship than Carnival. This is just a known fact that the P&O ships can fit under the Sydney Harbour Bridge, whereas the Carnival ships can't. And I got very sick on P&O, and I am putting that down to the size of the ship because it is a lot smaller, therefore you can feel the waves and the rockiness of the boat a lot more because it is a lot smaller. And we were right, our cabin was right at the front of the boat as well, which probably didn't help. On P&O, they only had 2 swimming pools, which were on midship on the deck. There was an adult only pool and a kids pool, both that say they're heated. They were not heated. They were definitely not heated. They were dead set ice cold. But whereas Carnival, they had 2 swimming pools midship on the deck, which were for anyone, and then they had an adults only pool in the adults only area. Adults only area in Carnival was literally the biggest area, and it had like pods and sun lounges. It had I think 1 or 2 spas, I can't remember to be exact. And then they had a pool as well, and like a huge bar, and they had like a little area where they had live music as well. Whereas P&O literally had a thing like this big, and it was a couple of lounge chairs with a little bar, and that was it. No adult only pool, spa, nothing. I went there on the first day just to check it out, and that was it. There was no point in me going back, so I thought it was a bit of a waste of an area. On Carnival, their big kind of attraction thing is the 2 water slides that are on there, which I went on the yellow one. It kind of just goes down, whereas the green one's like one of the ones that the floor moves for only and you get shot down. I was not game enough to do that, but they were both really cool and enjoyable, and they also have like a little kiddie water area as well. Whereas on P&O, their kind of attraction is the P&O Edge, which is a flying fox kind of from one end of the deck to the other end. And also they had rock climbing and the trampoline thing where you get strapped in, you can do like flips and stuff like that, which I never saw them 2 going, but the flying fox was going every afternoon. However, the P&O Edge did cost extra money. I think it was about $19 each person each time. But yeah, I didn't do it because I didn't think it was worth it, and I felt like I would have got stuck halfway. But yeah, a lot of people did that, and it did look fun. But yeah, Carnival's things are free, like you don't have to pay for them. This probably comes down to P&O being a smaller boat, but there wasn't many places to sit. There was like the deck, obviously. They had the atrium, which is like the reception area, and they had the dome, which is like the quiet area during the day, and then it becomes the nightclub at night. Whereas on Carnival, there are so many places to sit. there's like a part right at the front of the ship that's got, you can sit in the windows and it's like got cushions and stuff. And there's no one ever down there, so I always sat there because it was really quiet. The Wi-Fi on Carnival is shocking. It cost, I think it was $1 a minute, and it took forever to load, and by the time like you're on there for like 5 minutes, $5 already, and it still hasn't loaded, which is ridiculous. And you always have to remember to log out, otherwise it'll keep like costing you money until you log out. And that happened to one of us when I went on Carnival, and the bill racked up a lot. Whereas on P&O, you can get like Wi-Fi packages. I'm not sure about Carnival with that one because I never looked into it. But with P&O, you can get Wi-Fi packages. But I found that Facebook was free. So as long as you just log into the Wi-Fi, and Facebook is the only thing that like is able to be used for free without putting your details in. One of the things that I found really confusing on P&O was the fact that everything is kind of everywhere. So for example, you go in on level 7, and then the atrium and the reception's on level 6, and there's a few shops there, and then there's I think a few things on level 6, and then on level 7 is kind of like where everything else is, like all the bars and everything like that. And then the theatre is on level 7 and 8, and then on level 8 is the casino. And it was just kind of all chop and change like everywhere. Like it annoyed me that it wasn't all on one level, whereas with Carnival you walk in on level 3, everything's on level 3. Like the reception area, a lot of the bars, the casino, the theatre, everything was on one level, and it made it a lot easier to work your way around and to know exactly where everything is. The shops on board, with P&O, they had like a Pandora shop, a surf shop, an essential shop, and just like a kind of souvenir shop. And that was pretty much it. With Carnival, they had kind of one big huge like jewelry makeup shop type thing, and they had the surf shop and a souvenir shop combined, and that was pretty much it with Carnival. So I don't know, both of them were kind of the same. Housekeeping with Carnival, they did like the kind of towel animals, which was really cool, and every night they'd do that and leave our good times next to our towel animal. And they all knew our names. Even before we got to our room on the first day, they said hello to me and said hello Dayna. I was like, how do you know my name? This is really weird. And they used to call my mum Miss Laura, which was really funny. With P&O, they never knew our names. They never really talked to us. They always forgot our good times. So every second day we had to ask for our itinerary, which was really annoying. But I will vouch for them because I used to sleep up the other end of my bed instead of the way they made it. And they realised that about halfway through the trip, and this like started making it the way I slept. So I really liked that they did that for me. I think because Carnival is a bigger boat, you could walk right to the tip of the boat, so you could do the whole, you know, Titanic type thing. Yeah, so you could walk right around, you could stand right at the front of the boat and see out from that way. Whereas P&O, as far as you could go to the front was the deck pretty much, and then you went through the doors, and at the front of the boat with P&O was like the spa rooms and stuff like that. So if you went in and you paid lots of money for a massage, you'd get like front views. But yeah, if you didn't do that, you'd never be able to see like right at the front of the boat. All the onshore tours with Carnival could be booked through your TV. So instead of going down to reception, you could do it through that way, and they'd get delivered to your room, like the little tickets. Or yeah, you could go down to reception, talk to them about it and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they had like a separate desk. It was called the onshore tours desk, and you did it all there, which was cool. But with P&O, you couldn't book through the TV, you had to go down to reception. Although they had like little kiosks where you could do it yourself, and they printed out the tickets right then and there. And also on the screen you could tell like how many seats were left in that tour or anything like that, which I found really, really cool. And they had like a description of what each tour was about, which I really liked, and I honestly preferred that, and because the tickets printed out right then and there as well. One thing I absolutely hated with P&O was that all the food closes at 9 o'clock. So if you're hungry after 9 o'clock, then like you're left with nothing really. So that was really, really annoying. With Carnival, they have 24-hour pizza and 24-hour ice cream that you pretty much, like with the pizza, you obviously order it, but the ice cream, you can help yourself. It's always there. And they also have water, orange juice, iced tea and lemonade, like it's homemade lemonade, available 24 hours a day, or including like tea, coffee, that kind of stuff, and you go up and you help yourself. Whereas with P&O, all you get given is water all day, every day, unless in the morning you go down for breakfast and they have orange juice, but that's literally it. Unless you go to the bar and you buy like soft drink or something like that. But with Carnival, I really, really liked the homemade lemonade. It was delicious. And the fact that only P&O had water readily available every day kind of made me really annoyed. With P&O, yeah, if you wanted food after 9 o'clock, they had a little kind of area set up where you could buy like pizza, chips, burgers, that kind of stuff. But yes, you did have to pay for it. And the pizzas were $9.50 and it was not worth it at all. It was, nah. I'm annoyed at myself that I spent $9.50 on pretty much a tortilla with cheese and tomato sauce. Not worth it. The disembarkation process for Carnival is you get given a letter of the alphabet. In the morning when the ship docks, your letter will be called out in alphabetical order, and then when it's called, you'll get off the ship. It makes it so much easier and like no congestion at all. Whereas with P&O, there is no announcements at all. The night before, you were given your time at like when you should be leaving the ship. Ours was 9 o'clock and there was that much congestion and we were late docking. We didn't get off the ship until about 10:30. So, and when we got off the ship, we had to collect our luggage and then still wait in a line to go through customs, whereas there was no line with Carnival because they did it in alphabetical order and did it that way and only had a certain amount of people at that time. On shore days, if you have to catch a tender with Carnival, you can go up and you get a little sticker to put on your shirt that will have a number, and they'll call out that number over the loudspeaker when your tender is ready. So for example, if they call out number 8, everyone with the number 8 sticker will go down to the tender and they'll get on that tender. Whereas with P&O, if you had to catch a tender, you had to literally line up in a line right through the ship, right through reception, and literally stay in that line until you got on the tender. There was one day we waited 40 minutes to get on the tender, and that's like 40 minutes you could be spending on the island, or you could be spending doing something else waiting to be called for your tender. So Carnival have it sorted out seriously, and P&O need to pick up their game. The cabins in Carnival, I found that the first time I went with 2 single beds, we have a lot more room, obviously less beds, but the second time we had 2 single beds and then a bunk, and there was no room at all. It was very hard to fit our suitcases into the room, especially with 4 girls. But with P&O, we had 2 sets of bunk beds, and I found that was a lot more room, a lot more storage. Like there was drawers and cupboards everywhere, which was really good. But yeah, I guess both rooms are about the same size. It just depends how the configuration of your beds are. And last but not least, P&O docks at White Bay, which is about 20 minutes from Central Station in Sydney. And it's a lot harder to get to. If you get driven, then it's easy because there's parking, so whoever's dropping you off can park and then you can get out. Whereas there is no public transport there, and if you caught a train or had to fly in or anything like that, you'd have to make your way from there over to the port, and it could become quite expensive. Whereas Carnival docks in Circular Quay, there is nowhere to park if you do get dropped off, unless you want to pay a lot of money, or you can catch a train which puts you right at the front door of the ship pretty much. So it was a lot more convenient being docked in Circular Quay with Carnival. I feel like I've been talking forever, but pretty much that is all I can think of right now. That covers most of the things that compare the 2 companies. I hope this helped someone out, and if you have any questions, please leave them down below. But obviously, if you can't tell already, I much prefer Carnival, and I will honestly say I'll probably never travel with P&O again. Like, I enjoyed the cruise, but I didn't enjoy the cruise company. So yeah, yeah, I hope this helps someone out. Yeah, I'll hopefully make some more advice videos soon if you're interested. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Toodles!